Today, I'm going to show you how to install the Otix 9005 LED headlight bulbs in your 2022 Santa Cruz. These are great, beautiful upgrades for the dull brown headlights. Now, the other thing you'll need besides the headlights are a trim removal toolkit. So, I got this one off of Amazon. It's really inexpensive. Before we get into the install, let me show you what the lights look like. Now, I've already replaced the passenger side. You just see how dull and brown the OEM light is versus this LED light that is just super bright and looks so cool. Now, let's get into the replacement of these lights. The plastic trim removal tool is going to help with a couple of things. One, it's made of plastic so it won't damage the paint. Two, it's going to pop out these little plastic, what I call rivets. I'm pointing to them now. There's probably 8 or 10 that you need to remove in order to pull this inner fender well off because the light's behind it. You're not going to be able to get to the headlamp from the top of the engine bay. And in fact, there's two other of these little clips that you got to pull out on the bottom. Once you get all these pulled off, you're also going to have to pull off the back or pull out the black trim that goes along the fender. You're not going to remove all the trim. You just need to pull it back about halfway. And what this is going to do, it's going to give you enough gap to pull that inner fender well off. What I found helpful here is prying with the tool and then pulling with my other hand underneath. There's plastic clips underneath there, and all you got to do is get those to loosen or come apart. They won't break if you're careful, and you just need to pull them and separate them. You just need to create enough of a gap to remove the pinch that the plastic piece here is making with the inner fender well and the body. With this trim piece pulled back, I'm now able to go through and pull all of the plastic rivets that are holding that inner fender well off. There are two on the front that you want to make sure that you get those off also. And once you get all of those pulled back, what you'll be able to do is actually pull the inner fender well back because this is where the actual light is. There it is, right there. Now, there's a cap that we need to remove. So you got to turn it about a quarter turn to loosen it. However, the cap, it's got a really tight seal. So once you get it loosened, you'll need to wiggle it back and forth and kind of pry it off just because it's got that really tight seal. But once you do, the light is right behind that, super easy access. To remove the light, you'll need to pull the plug off first. There is a clip at the top, which I'm pointing with right now on my thumb. You got to pull that back. Once you get it back far enough, the plug will actually pull straight down and off the light. With a quick twist, the light will pop out and it's time to replace it with a new LED, which I'm really excited about because I was really disappointed with how dim and dark the stock headlights are on the Santa Cruz. Now, when putting the light back in, what you'll need to do is the bottom needs to be clocked to like the 4 or 6 or 5 p.m. position and then twist it in. Then all you need to do is put the plug in, just slide it straight up and listen for that click. And that makes sure that it is solidly attached. Here is the after. You can see the difference. It is just a nice, pure white lights. Both the high and low beams look great. With the light in place, what I found really helpful with getting this inner fender well centered is the one little stud that's sticking out. Go ahead and get the fender on that and then grab your plastic nut and tighten that down. This is going to be hand tight and you don't need to use any tools, but you do want to do it fully hand tightened. Once that nut is in place, go ahead and crawl under the front because you'll want to adjust that inner fender. It needs to go above this front protection plastic piece. And if you try and do the inner fender well first, it's going to create issues. So go ahead, get that done, get your plugs in there. Then you can center the rest of the inner fender well in between that plastic trim and the body. With that inner fender well all lined up, now you can go ahead and take those plastic plugs and put them back in. Now, they are spread out, the little plugs that hold everything together. So, what you'll need to do is make sure you flatten the face of it so it actually fits inside the hole. Once you get it inside the hole, all you got to do is just push it with your thumb and boom, you're done. Go ahead and finish off all the plugs on the inside and then pop the trim back into place. Just give it a gentle tap with your fist. Once you're done on this side, make sure you do the other. And here is the final result. I cannot tell you how much happier I am now that I've driven a couple of months with these lights installed.